everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Rugby with Pads. I hope your weekend was as good as mine wasn't, in terms of fantasy anyway. Today we are doing our Monday knee-jerk reactions, our 5 things that we think we've learned or just want to talk about based on this weekend's manic games. And the first one I want to look at is Andy Dalton, is capital HIM. He is him slash the Raiders sold slash Bryce really wasn't it, was he? This week, Raiders versus the Panthers. Not going to lie, it was a really fun game to watch. But 24 points for Dalton, and I'd already written off Deontay Johnson, and he goes and scores 26 points. On the other hand, you've got 13 points from Minshew. Adams got 8. Weirdly, Trey Tucker and Jacoby Myers got 22 each, but it was a very weird game. And after I put so much stock in all of my games, I'd picked up the Raiders everywhere I could because I thought they were just going to absolutely take Dalton to pieces. Wasn't the case. Even Antonio Pierce, the is he the full-time head coach? He was the interim, now he's the full-time head coach of the Raiders. Came out and said that the players were making business decisions, and I can see that. Once they realised the game was away from them, it was crazy. And the craziest thing is that Andy Dalton, who has been the prime meridian for anyone better than him, was considered a starting quarterback. Anyone below him is considered a backup quarterback. Is the first one this season to go for 303. Don't say 300, throw for 300 yards and score 3 touchdowns. Absolutely incredible. Do I think it's sustainable? No, I do not. Do I think he will go off on the waiver wire? Yes, I do. I still think the Panthers have so much wrong with them fundamentally, but it appears the Raiders do as well. Number 2, tight ends. What are you playing at? Goddard, 170 yards. Komet, 25 or more points. Superstars, nowhere to be seen. Bowers, 7.1. Kelsey, 7 points. Laporta, 5.6. McBride, 5.5. Dalton Schultz, who was going to be my Lord and Saviour this year, 3 points. And Mark Andrews, many people's play of the week, 0 points. Late round tight end was always going to be the way forward. I wish I believed that in every single one of my leagues. I'm smashing it in Scott Fishbowl because I was the last person by about 3 rounds to draft anyone, and I drafted Tucker Kraft, I drafted Isaiah Likely, Tyler Conklin, who is running the show at the moment. He's now officially a tight end 1. Crazy, but all of your superstars that you broke your drafts by getting, including Dalton Kincaid. We'll have to see what happens on Monday night to see if anyone else jumps up there. But yeah, these guys have not been fantastic. If you did an early round tight end, you won't be doing it again next year, I'm sure. But something you will be looking at is our number 3, a running back renaissance. Renaissance? I don't know what you're looking at. The top 3 running backs are averaging about 31 points this week, which is incredible. We haven't seen that in a very long time. This has been a passing league. It is now a no-fly zone league. Defenses are getting it, but it seems like run defenses really aren't. You have 7 wide receivers, running backs who average, who scored this week 25 or more points in the wide receiver room. You've only got 4, which is something that doesn't happen very often. And I think it's down to a lot of things. We've gotten to a stage in football where running backs and committees, it doesn't really matter if you've got a committee, you're still going to do pretty well. You've got Taylor, who scored 27.9 in a committee with Richardson, and we'll get onto Richardson in a minute. We've got Henry, who scored 30.4 with a committee with Lamar. And I'm just seeing, I thought these running quarterbacks would damage the game, but it really opens up the game in the running and game. And you've got traditional committees like Gibbs and Montgomery scoring 16 and 21 points each this weekend. In not a very high scoring game like we all thought it was going to be. Incredible. But I think the thing to maintain is that every partnership, one or the other will have its have its day on any given weekend. You've got Charbonnet in replacement, got 26 points from Walker. Emmanuel I don't even know him, with about 16 points versus Josh Jacobs, 5.8. Josh Jacobs is not the one, though. And you've got Irving over White this weekend. I think he got 90 yards on 7 carries or something like that. And I think it's all. You even got Braylon Allen, sorry, I forgot to mention him from the Thursday night game. Yeah, not amazing, scored about 10 points, but still taking good yards away from the likes of your top superstars. I think what this is spelling in the league is that there are still bell cow backs, and I think you'll see that in Kyron Williams, you'll see that in a couple of others, but longevity is the key. This is a long season. They know they're going to have to battle through it, and to get a good passing game, you need a good running game, and I think that's what everyone's establishing early on, as passing really hasn't got itself going. The defenses are definitely ahead. We're relying on the running game, and it's coming out good. So it's not something I'm too disappointed at there. Number 4, should we be worrying about QBs? I'm sounding the alarm bells, yes. For a similar reason, we're looking at tight ends as well. I'm just thinking, what about our superstar tight ends? Superstar quarterbacks, the ones we expect to score 20, 25 points every weekend. Mahomes, 16. Kyler, 15. Goff, 15, who people drafted a lot of. Matt Stafford, 13. Kirk, 11. Jalen, 11. Stroud, 10 points. Herbert, 9. Carr, who's had an amazing season so far, 7 points. And Richardson, who I thought was going to be the fancy saviour, can't throw a pass to save his life, got a QBR of lower than 39, which I think basically if you just throw it into the ground 20 times, you'd get better than that. Scoring 5 points. I think it's there is a difference these days between a good performance and a poor performance. You really see that stark difference. I mean, I think the average has come down in general, and we still get our great guys. We still get Malik Willis this week. Absolutely amazing, 25 points. Dalton, I've already talked about 25 points. Rogers around the same mark as well. I think what it shows is that this year, all the coordinators have really got it, and they understand something. I think scheme and game plan on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, really makes a difference. But individual performances really can make a difference in both good and bad. We saw the bad with Anthony Richardson. Yes, they won the game. That's the main point of football? Yes, but it's not the main point of fantasy. That doesn't do anything good for any fantasy owners. But we're relying on different game types, and the script isn't written in the same way. Yes, we've got this too high safety conversation that Mel Kiper's gone all over about, but does that tell the whole story? I don't think so, and I think we're getting very savvy coordinators playing to the strengths that they have now, and will those strengths and differences change over the season? I'm sure they will. And number 5, I think we're all considering, did we draft wrong? Now, everyone has a strategy. Everyone has zero RB, zero wide receiver, hero RB, and we did a load of these. And go back and look at draft week shows. We did 5 different ways of looking at how to draft. And I think if you went early RB, maybe you're a bit kind of like confused about what's going on with all these committees. I mean, CMC's obviously been out. Brees is just giving you just about what you need. A.K.A.'s currently number 3, probably better than expected, but although this weekend really didn't jump up to much. But Kamara, someone we'd written off, is the number 2 running back in the whole of the league. It's crazy. And then you've got Josh Jacobs, who we drafted in the 2nd and 3rd round at 27. Bijan doesn't even hit the RB1 mark in a 12 team. He's sitting at 15 at the moment in PPR. Absolutely crazy. We've already talked about if you went early tight end, injury and inconsistency is key. I mean, we all talked about it already. Tyler Conklin is currently sitting at tight end 11. No one drafted him unless you're in a super deep league. And if you went early QB, again, you're really disappointing yourself. The 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round picks, apart from Josh Allen, who's yet to play tonight, and I'm sure will do fantastic. But you've got Darnold as QB number 2, even though he missed part of the game yesterday. Baker is number 4. Daniels is at 16. He was a very late pick for a lot of people because everyone thought he was going to be quite raw, and the Washington Commanders were going to be naff. He's currently sitting at 16 with the game in hand. It's bonkers. So loads of things to consider this weekend, and going into week 4, it's going to be even crazier. And I will be back later on this week with a week 4 breakdown. We will target 3 more games or 3 more matchups that we are going to analyse and take a look at. But for now, I hope you get a victory Monday, and I hope you get a victory Tuesday if you're still waiting on those games. But good luck to you all this weekend, and hope you had good fortune last weekend. We'll talk about my hits and misses in the next show. But thank you very much for listening. I just wanted to get that off my chest as that knee jerk reaction, and I will see you all very soon on the Virtual Gridiron.